All right, so we've got a mountain of info here about UtilizeCore.
Yeah, it looks like a lot to unpack.
They say they're going to banish spreadsheets and late-night invoice wrangling. Sign me up for that. But is it too good to be true? What do you think? Hype or the real deal?
Well, what I find interesting is how UtilizeCore really hones in on the pain points of dealing with subcontractors the old-fashioned way.
Right, like drowning in phone calls, chasing down invoices.
Exactly, and those spreadsheet nightmares. They seem to get that it's a real problem.
Yeah, they paint quite the picture. Makes you wonder if my work orders are being delivered by carrier pigeon. But then, hold on, it says here they can take a 20-minute work order down to 1 minute and invoices from 30 minutes to just 3? Come on.
I know, right? Sounds a little hard to believe.
Is that even possible?
Well, they say the key is this combo of automation and keeping everything in one central hub.
So, like, instead of a jumbled mess of papers and emails, it's all streamlined.
Exactly. Imagine it like an air traffic control, but for all your subcontractor stuff, communication, tasks, invoices, everything's in UtilizeCore, updated in real time. No more bottlenecks.
Okay, so there's some actual logic at play here, but what about the impact on the actual people involved? The operations team, the finance folks, and obviously the subcontractors themselves. How does this impact their day-to-day?
Well, for operations, picture this. You open up UtilizeCore, and you see a dashboard that shows you exactly where every single project stands at that very moment.
No more calling around for updates.
No more deciphering cryptic spreadsheets, just crystal clear visibility and control.
And for our finance friends who, let's be honest, practically live in spreadsheets, this is like trading in their abacus for a high-speed calculator, right?
Exactly. UtilizeCore automates the entire invoicing process,
Right.
from creating the invoice to sending reminders. And it syncs up with your accounting software, making life a lot easier for everyone.
So far, so good. But let's talk about the subcontractors for a sec. Are they just cogs in this machine? Or does UtilizeCore actually benefit them too?
That's where I think UtilizeCore really stands out. They seem to get that there's a human side to all this tech. Subcontractors get a user-friendly app, clear work orders, and maybe best of all, faster payments.
Okay, so they're selling this whole win-win-win idea. More efficient, less stressful, happier teams all around. Pretty bold claims. I'm curious to dig deeper into this human element they keep mentioning.
Yeah, they talk a lot about reducing stress, empowering teams, even improving customer retention.
Right. Is that just marketing fluff? Or is there something deeper going on here?
It's easy to be cynical, but I think there might be more to it than that.
Like what?
What if efficiency isn't just about speed and cutting costs, but about creating a genuinely better experience for everyone involved?
I like where you're going with that. So how does UtilizeCore actually bridge that gap between, streamlined processes and actually making people happier?
Well, think about it this way. When you reduce errors, right, and communication is smoother and you've got a better handle on your finances, that's not just about numbers on a screen. It changes how people feel about their work.
Makes sense.
For subcontractors, it means clearer expectations, less frustration, and, getting paid on time consistently.
Which is huge.
It is.
Yeah.
And then, how do you think that impacts the customer?
Oh, I see where you're going with this.
Right. Ultimately, they're the ones who benefit from a smooth subcontractor experience.
Or suffer if it's not so smooth.
Exactly. So when your subcontractors are happy, efficient, that translates directly to the customer experience. Projects are on time, within budget, communication is clear, and if there are any issues, they're resolved quickly.
It's like this domino effect almost. Efficiency makes teams happier. Happier teams give better service.
And better service leads to.
Happier customers who are then more likely to, stick around, recommend you to others.
Precisely. It's a whole cycle of positive reinforcement, all starting with those streamlined operations, those empowered teams.
Okay, I'm convinced. This whole holistic approach, I'm into it. But before we get too warm and fuzzy, let's talk tech for a second. Automation's key, we've established that. But what's the magic behind it? Are we talking like AI robots on the construction site?
Not quite robots. Not yet, anyway. But UtilizeCore does use some pretty sophisticated tech, AI and machine learning, to automate things like scheduling, routing, even predicting potential delays.
So it takes those tasks off our plates.
Exactly. Frees up human brain power for, more strategic stuff.
The stuff humans are good at, problem solving, building relationships.
Exactly. It's about finding that balance between what we do well and what machines do well. UtilizeCore handles the heavy lifting, all that repetitive stuff, the data crunching,
And that lets us focus on, the human side of things.
right, building those relationships with the subcontractors, nurturing those partnerships, creating a more collaborative environment.
Speaking of which, I noticed in the materials you sent over, UtilizeCore has a surprisingly long history. I mean, 1963. That's before I even knew what a spreadsheet was.
That's right, they didn't just pop up overnight.
Seems like they've got some real-world experience under their belts.
They do. They started as an HVAC contractor themselves, so they've lived these challenges firsthand.
Oh, wow. So they're not just some tech company who thinks they know how it all works. They've been in the trenches.
Exactly. That firsthand experience is invaluable, right? They get it.
Yeah, that makes a huge difference. It's like they've been doing their own deep dive for decades, right?
Yeah.
Gathering all that knowledge and experience so they could build the ultimate subcontractor management platform. But enough about the history lesson. Let's get down to the nitty-gritty. What are some of the standout features, the ones that really bring this whole automation thing to life?
Well, one that really jumps out is how UtilizeCore streamlines the entire work order process. Remember how we talked about those 20 minutes shrinking down to just one?
Yeah, that still blows my mind.
It's a combination of smart design and automation, really. Picture this.
Mm-hmm.
You're in UtilizeCore, and you've got all your subcontractor info right there. You create the work order, assign it, set the payment terms, all in a matter of minutes.
No more digging through spreadsheets, hoping you didn't miss a decimal point. That's music to my ears.
Exactly. And because everything's centralized in UtilizeCore, there's a clear record of every single thing. Every work order, update, communication.
No more he said, she said when it comes to project details.
Exactly. Less confusion, fewer errors, and a whole lot of time saved.
Which is what we like to hear. But speaking of communication, we all know that miscommunication is like the kiss of death on a project. How does UtilizeCore tackle that?
So UtilizeCore has a built-in communication system. Think of it like your messaging app, but specifically for work stuff.
Oh, I like that.
Right. So you message your subcontractors directly through the platform. No more phone tag, no more lost emails. Everything's trackable and instant.
Everyone stays in the loop, and if any questions come up or, heaven forbid, disputes, you've got a record of everything.
Exactly. Transparency is key. And speaking of keeping things above board, we can't forget about the financial side. We've talked about the automated invoicing, but how else does UtilizeCore keep your finances well organized?
Well, being able to see project expenses in real time would be huge, right? No more waiting till the end of the month for a budget surprise.
You got it. UtilizeCore gives you this real-time dashboard. You can track invoices, payments, generate detailed reports. That kind of financial transparency, it's crucial for making smart decisions.
No more of those how did that happen moments when you're looking at the book.
Yeah, exactly. But now let's talk about the elephant in the room. Learning a whole new platform. That can be intimidating, even if it's supposed to make your life easier.
Oh, absolutely. I've been there. What's the learning curve like on this thing?
Well, UtilizeCore knows that's a real concern, and they've designed their platform to be user-friendly. Plus, they've got onboarding support, training resources, and a super responsive customer support team.
So they're not just throwing you the keys and saying good luck.
Not at all. They're invested in making sure you succeed with their platform.
That's good to hear. There's nothing worse than feeling lost with a new piece of tech.
Right. And what I really appreciate is their commitment to continuous improvement. They're always getting feedback from users and updating the platform to meet those needs.
They're listening, which is huge these days. So let's say someone's listening to this and thinking, all right, I'm sold. How do I get UtilizeCore into my life today? What's their next step?
Head over to the UtilizeCore website. We'll put the link in the show notes. They've got tons of info, their case studies, testimonials, even a free demo so you can try it out yourself.
Awesome. We'll be sure to include all of that in the show notes. This has been a fascinating deep dive into the world of UtilizeCore. I've got to say, I'm pretty impressed. They've really thought of everything when it comes to streamlining subcontractor management, helping businesses like yours thrive.
Couldn't agree more. It's amazing how technology can not only make us more efficient, but actually more human-centered, too.
And that's what it's all about, right? That's a win-win in my book. And there you have it, folks, another deep dive in the books. We hope you found this exploration of UtilizeCore as insightful and, dare I say, inspiring as we did. Until next time, keep those brains engaged, those questions coming, and remember the future of work is about working smarter, not harder.